trophy, or they're just 3 matches away from ending that record, starting with Bodø Glimt in their first leg of their Europa League semi-final tonight. Let's go live to the sunshine in North London and Gail Davis to preview what is, of course, Gail, a massive game for the club, you'd have to say.
Yeah, very good afternoon, Vicky. This feels like a defining night for Spurs, particularly after the season that they have had. A pretty dismal one, but Cowlin, host of the Spurs Chat podcast, I did say we'd start on a positive one. Because you're feeling pretty upbeat about this evening, aren't you?
I am feeling confident about it. Many people wrote us off for the Frankfurt game in the last round, and 2 really good performances at home. I know that one finished in the draw, but we still had to go out to Germany, and we got the result and got the job done in the end.
We talked about, Vicky made the point, and I made the point, the defeats have stacked up, 19 in all. You watched that game against Liverpool on the weekend, another very big loss. I know he made changes with this game in mind, but how much damage has that done going into the game today and going forward for this club? Because it's the manner of the defeat. They look broken at times, don't they, some of those players?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. 19 league defeats this season is nowhere near good enough. And unfortunately, week by week, under Ange Postecoglou in recent months, we've been breaking unwanted records. But in the Europa League, it does seem to be a very, very different Tottenham, a very different attitude, different performances, different player performances. And Ange wants this trophy. All of the fans want this trophy. The trophies at this football club are way, way overdue. We won the last 13 Europa League games at home here, so I do feel confident that we can get a result tonight. But Bodø Glimt are not going to be an easy game because, of course, they've won their last 8 out of 10 2-leg European ties, but is suspended and injured today. So what an opportunity. The players have got to grab this opportunity because to play either Manchester United or Athletic Bilbao in the final, it's a great opportunity for the football club.
When you talk about the difference in the performance in the league and the cup, and maybe the last few weeks, there's a little bit of a different context about it because the league's gone, Europe's gone, and this has been the sole focus. But why can he get his side up for these big European nights and not week in, week out, particularly away from home?
Well, I think the narrative has certainly been because we have had so many injuries, which I fully understand, and I'm sure everyone connected to the football club understand the amount of injuries that we have had. But this is such a massive opportunity. I feel like ever since the players and Postecoglou have realised that we can't reach that European spot in the Premier League, the priority has just gone on the Europa League, and as I said, we are seeing a completely different Tottenham. But this place, I'm sure, tonight will be absolutely buzzing, and I feel like getting a very positive result and a few clear goals in front going out to Norway, because that's going to be a very difficult time.
And you heard James Maddison speak at the news conference yesterday. He was pretty pumped, wasn't he? Almost a little bit angry. And I guess as a Spurs fan, do you want to hear that? And he said, look, I know that it's not been great. I've been hurt. I've been embarrassed by some of our performances, but we will put it right. We will do our very best. Not because we owe the fans one, but because we owe everyone one for the support that we've had.
We as fans like to see that attitude from players, but he was absolutely right when he said we. It's about the fans, the players, the manager. It's about everyone involved with the football club. It's not just about any one individual. But they've got to deliver. It's all well and good doing all these interviews, saying this, that and the other. We need to see this on the pitch. We need to see them deliver.
Okay, we're going to have a word on the team in a minute, but I'd like to just talk about, Ange's future in terms of yesterday, saying that this isn't the time. We're not talking about what happens next season. Win, lose, what happens to him?
It's going to be an interesting one, what happens to Ange Postecoglou.
What's the sense among the fans?
Well, I talk to fans every day, obviously, and on the podcast, and most fans want him gone, but you do still have the odd fan saying that, he needs to be given time, patience, etc. I feel now, and I probably made my switch. I was a big backer of Ange, but over these last, month or so with the defeats and the manner of the defeats, I feel like Ange Postecoglou does need to go, but it would be nice to see him deliver that trophy. Of course, he always says that he delivers a trophy in his second season. It'd be absolutely wonderful for him to deliver that. What happens after that is another thing, and we could probably talk for hours about that situation because we've gone through so many different managers at this football club. But as I keep saying, the players need to deliver. This is a real great opportunity for Ange Postecoglou to deliver success that we haven't seen for so long, especially in Europe, since 1984.
Yeah. a word finally then on the team. I mean, you just said to me it's so hard to predict what Ange's going to do on a night like this. We've had a few rumours, we've not stood them up, that Lucas Bergvall could be out. That feels like a really big blow if that's the case for Spurs. I mean, give us an idea. We pretty much know, don't we, what the back five are going to look like. But what does he do with the midfield and up front? It'd
be interesting, Gail, because as I said to you before, 29 different trio combinations in midfield last season. I feel like it is extremely hard to pick Ange Postecoglou's team. But
give it a
go. The thing that I would say is that the only players, the first team players we've got out is Son and Dragushin. And Ange Postecoglou has said many times in the press conferences, post-match interviews, etc., when we get all of our players back, we will be an outstanding team. And we need to see that tonight. Whatever team he puts out, and I expect him to go extremely strong. Yes, we face West Ham United on Sunday, but that is secondary. It is all about the Europa League tonight. Go strong. In the opening 10 minutes, we do not want to concede any goals. This place needs to be absolutely rocking. There's going to be a tifo here this evening. Strong team, strong fans, and it needs to be the perfect night. What looks like a good night for Spurs, do you feel, then? We need to be a couple of clear goals up because, of course, Bodø Glimt play on a 3G pitch next week out in Norway. It's going to be cold there. It's going to be uncomfortable for the team. Of course, we saw, Spurs travelled to Tamworth in the FA Cup, made it very difficult on that 3G pitch, so we need to get the job done here this evening. Right, brilliant, thank you very much. Go and enjoy it, if that's the right word, or enjoy it through the stress and the pain. And listen, Ange knows, doesn't he, all too well what awaits in Bodø Glimt. He took Celtic there in 2022, that February, and lost, and Roma have come up and stuck as well. So he spoke yesterday, not throwing everything at it, but you get the sense they just need a few goals this evening to set out what will be a monumental evening next week in Norway, with the hope of making it through to the Europa League final.
Yeah, they certainly need that win, don't they, this evening. Thanks ever so much, Gail, as always. Right, Pep Guardiola has refused to rule out if Rodri will feature for the club before the season ends. The Ballon d'Or winner has returned to full training, but